Hi, I'm David Freudberg, host of the Humankind on Public Radio podcast. Each week we tell stories of people holding on to their humanity amid great challenges, like how climate change has affected lives in Northern California.
I've definitely not given up hope, but I do think that this is a moment that's calling upon us to respond. And we can choose to keep going, to kind of have our blinders on and to not change, or we can take the courage to be the immune system of the planet and for each other at this time.
And we hear from a wheelchair user in Pittsburgh who had studied mechanical engineering in college.
After having the spinal cord injury, it was actually my doctor who said, "Have you ever considered rehab engineering?" And I didn't even know that was a thing. So that's why I ended up here.
We aim for the highest part of people, and their stories will uplift you. Please join us for the Humankind on Public Radio podcast.
This friendly Mother's Day reminder is brought to you by 1-800-Flowers.com. Mother's Day is this Sunday. You don't have time to put this off any longer. Head to 1-800-Flowers.com right now. 1-800-Flowers has amazing deals on last-minute Mother's Day gifts. From bouquets to sweet surprises, Mom deserves the best. Order your gift from 1-800-Flowers before time runs out. To order today, go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.
From MCIE.
Why be sorry about having cerebral palsy when you can throw a party instead? That's the question AZ Chapman asks in her new children's book, written as an introduction to CP for elementary school learners. My name is Tim Villegas from the Maryland Coalition for Inclusive Education, and you are listening to Think Inclusive, a show where with every conversation we try to build bridges between families, educators, and disability rights advocates to create a shared understanding of inclusive education and what inclusion looks like in the real world. You can learn more about who we are and what we do at mcie.org. AZ Chapman is a writer from California. She was diagnosed as a toddler with cerebral palsy, which primarily affects her speech and fine motor skills. Chapman is a college-educated woman who earned her bachelor's degree in liberal studies with a minor in special education from California State University, East Bay. Chapman is also a highly ambitious athlete. She started competing in her local Special Olympics program at the age of 13 and couldn't imagine her life without this amazing experience. She has competed in multiple events, including swimming, track, basketball, soccer, bocce bowling, and golf. Here is what we cover in today's episode. AZ shares why she wanted to write Cerebral Palsy Party, what her experience in school was like, and what her hopes and dreams are for the future. Before we get into today's interview, I want to tell you about our sponsor, Together Letters. Are you losing touch with people in your life, but you don't want to be on social media all the time? Together Letters is a tool that can help. It's a group email newsletter that asks its members for updates and combines them into a single newsletter for everyone. All you need is email. We are using Together Letters so Think Inclusive patrons can keep in touch with each other. Groups of 10 or less are free, and you can sign up at togetherletters.com. And now, my interview with AZ Chapman. AZ, tell us a little bit about your book.
So the book is called Cerebral Palsy Party. It's a book to introduce elementary school students to the peers who have cerebral palsy.
What is the story of the book? How would you describe it?
So the story, it's not really a storyline with like a plot point. It's more explaining what cerebral palsy is, explaining some of the adaptive technology that some people with CP use, and how to be a good friend and ally to somebody with cerebral palsy.
And so how would you say, how how could people be a good friend to people with cerebral palsy?
Just for being a friend, you don't have to do anything special. You don't have to teach a class. Just be a just human. Find out what we're interested in, and if you like it and want to hang out with us, make sure the space is accessible if there's mobility, like if the person with CP needs a wheelchair, make sure the space is accessible and stuff like that.
So, have you always wanted to write a book?
So the story behind that is kind of sort of. My dad always said AZ is a good writer, she should write a book. And then the story behind Cerebral Party was I was on a Facebook forum, and the mom said there's not a good book for my daughter. She was in 4th grade at the time, and this was back in 2012. And the name Cerebral Palsy Party came to me, and I started writing, and that's how I came up with the idea for the book.
So in the book, like you said, it isn't really a story. It's more of like a explanation of what cerebral palsy is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else can you tell us about the book?
It took a long time finding the illustrator.
Why was that so hard?
My friend from college was gonna do it, and we were gonna publish it sooner than this year, but then the illustrations got stolen from her tour. So, and then she was do some other stuff. She was trying to become a therapist at the time and in school, and just way too busy to start over from scratch. So I was looking around, and this was in January. This was in 2020 with George Floyd, and so there's a lot of groups with Down syndrome online. There's not a lot of groups with cerebral palsy. So I joined one for Black people with Down syndrome, and one of them, Rita, had written a book about her son, Anayan, who has Down syndrome, and she had like a 3 or 4 book series, and her illustrator was, I saw his work and I was like, oh my god, I want him to illustrate, and that's how I found the illustrator.
Nice. So once you found the illustrator, how long did it take you to make the book?
So it took about a year, like going back and forth, and yeah.
But it's out now. So how have you gotten some good feedback from it?
I haven't gotten any reviews yet, but everybody's really excited for me. We actually haven't had a book signing, but we're planning to do that sometime in the future. So yeah.
Cool.
But everyone's been very excited for me.
Great. And how does it feel to be a published author?
It feels good.
Yeah. So you were telling me before, I don't know if you want me to publish this or not, but you said you've been having trouble finding some work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess to start off, talking about work, what is it that you're interested in?
I'm interested in special education and education in general.
Yeah. So what specifically in special ed?
Ideally, my dream job would be a high school special ed teacher for moderate to severe that actually included the kids in general ed for everything except math, which I would do, or at first, but yeah.
Yeah. You said you went to college. What did you go to college for? Like, what was your degree?
Liberal studies with a minor in special ed.
Okay. And you went to what university?
Cal State East Bay.
Cal State East Bay. Okay. What is it about school that you really love?
The kids, the fact, I'm a firm believer in the power of education, and I want to give back, and what I've seen, what I experienced, the good and the bad, I want to make it better for the next generation so that they don't have PTSD, so that they do know science, so that, I was fully included K-5, but then in middle school, I was placed in a study hall for people with kids with disabilities, and in that study hall, I got bullied for 2 years, and I now have PTSD as a result that I'm now at 30 trying to work through with a therapist. And I'm really good. I feel like I understand history very well. I understand English. I can even if I had to figure out math. But science, because I never had those two foundational years, I feel like I don't know science at all. And I took some science in high school, and actually, no, biology I feel pretty comfortable in, but nothing higher than biology. Like, I'm terrible at chemistry, and I never took physics, so.
So after middle school and after being in study hall, what was high school like?
High school, I did the same requirements. I was in that study hall. But then in my senior year, I was in a special ed personal finance class, and the teacher was just really mean to me.
And then you graduated?
Yeah, and then college was fine.
So what do you think would have helped you in middle and high school?
I think I would have been better off just being assigned a general ed curriculum instead of part way, especially in middle school. I probably would have gotten less bullied.
Did they have special education classes at the middle school and high school?
Yeah, they did.
But you weren't in those. You were in a different class. You were in the study hall class?
No, the study hall was supposedly special ed study hall.
Oh, I see. So you were in a separate class for middle and high school
For one period, yeah.
for one period. Yeah. But you felt like if you were included during that time, you would have been better off.
Yeah.
Yeah. AZ, what are you hoping to accomplish with the book and then also like all of your other advocacy?
I want to make the world a better place for people with disabilities.
Are there some people that you look up to in the disability community?
Gee, human, obviously, I follow Amani Bobbery, President Spice, so I follow all of them.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Judy Human's great. Crutches and Spice, awesome. Well, what else do you want to say about what you want to do with your life, or the book, or anything else? What do you want to say to people who are listening?
Please go out and buy my book. It's only $14. And
Yeah.
leave a 5-star review on Amazon. That would be appreciated.
Okay.
And just be nice and be kind. There's so much hate in the world. There's so much divisiveness. But if you can be kind and model that for young people, I mean, that's it.
After this interview, AZ announced that she was accepted in a teaching program at California State University East Bay. All the best of luck to AZ. Her students will be lucky to have her. Think Inclusive is written, edited, and sound designed by Tim Villegas and is a production of MCIE. Original music by Miles Kredich. If you enjoyed today's episode, here is one way that you can help our podcast grow. Become a patron and get access to ad-free episodes, behind-the-scenes posts, join our Together Letters group, and get a sneak preview of MCIE's new podcast series, Inclusion Stories. Special thanks to our patrons, Melissa H., Joiner E., Pamela P., Mark C., Kathy B., Kathleen T., Jarrett T., Gabby M., Aaron P., Paula W., and Carol Q. for their support of Think Inclusive. For more information about inclusive education or to learn how MCIE can partner with you and your school or district, visit mcie.org. Thanks for your time and attention, and remember, inclusion always works. Oh, hey, you're still around. Great. So, Tim here again. And if you've listened this far into the episode, it means that you're probably a super fan, which is amazing. So thank you. Thank you for listening all the way. And so just for you, and, don't tell anyone about this, okay? I'm going to add an extra 5-minute interview with someone else, something completely different. I honestly was trying to figure out where I was going to share this. I thought, why not add it at the end of an episode just as a bonus? So a few months ago, a friend of mine, his name is Matt, was doing something really cool for the month of March. He was trying to play catch with one person every day for the whole month. And so his catch partners were people from all different walks of life, different ages, different occupations. And so he asked me to play catch with him. And so after we played, I brought my recording equipment and I just asked him a couple questions about it. And I thought it was really interesting. So again, if you're listening to the very end, you get an extra special interview. So thanks again for sticking around, and we'll catch you later. Describe yourself, I guess.
All right. So I'm Matt Summerlot. Live here in Marietta, Georgia, and a good friend of Tim's.
Awesome. All right, so Matt, we just played catch.
We did. 80-degree weather at the end of March. Can't ask for better.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So tell me about why you wanted to play catch. And so you're playing catch with one person every day for the month of March. Is that right?
That's correct. So I'm participating in something called the 30 Days of Catch Challenge. And so there was an author, Ethan Bryan. He wrote a book called A Year of Playing Catch. And so he did it for an entire year, a couple years ago, and then wrote a book about it. So I read that, was very enthused by it, knew the power of catch. So when he put out a challenge in February, he said, hey, in the lead up to Major League Baseball's opening day, I'm going to do a 30-day catch challenge. It'll start on March 1st, end on March 30th. You got to play catch with 30 different people. Can't have the same person on another day. And then there are also 15 goals, right? So you have to play catch with, say, a firefighter or a musician or a school teacher, a stranger, those kinds of things. And so you have to meet all of those 15. I'm almost through the 15. I got a couple more to do. And here we are. You are what is today? Day number 24. So congratulations, Tim. So
Thanks. And then earlier we were talking about you noticing a difference, like when you played catch with your son.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, and playing catch opened up some conversations that maybe you wouldn't have been able to do.
That's exactly right. I mean, when you think about the game of catch, like each of you has a mitt on, and you're throwing a ball back and forth. You can't have a phone in front of you, right? And so that's predominant in today's society. Kids have heads down. This is a true way to connect. I think there's a lot of power in it. In fact, one of the guys, I'm a part of an organization called Play Catch for Good. I'm a teammate of that organization, and one of the things that he's working on is a ball with questions on it. So as you kind of throw back and forth, you ask each other questions, which I thought was brilliant, right? But like you pointed out, so like naturally in the yard, throwing with my son, and it became a way to unwind at the end of the day, where I could learn about, hey, what's going on, and it was really fun, and I could see confidence building in him too, as he would try different pitches or throw harder, and so between the connection and the confidence building, I just saw a lot of power in the game of catch, and I really feel like there are ways that we can change the world through the game of catch. As corny as that sounds.
I'm all about changing the world, Matt. That's all right.
I know you are. Yeah.
One more thing, because you mentioned something about catch curriculum. So tell me more about that.
Yeah. So Play Catch for Good developed a curriculum. They've actually rolled it out in several schools. So it's really designed to, the net effect of it is, how do we reduce school violence? How do we get people engaged? How do we build community? And community is built up of connections, right? And so playing catch really builds those connections. And so we've got an entire curriculum. In fact, if you go out to playcatchforgood.org, you can actually download the curriculum and incorporate that into, if a school system wanted to bring it in, they could do that. But it's all about, how do we get kids together just playing the game of catch and see the results, right? That's what it's all about.
Matt Summerlaw, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.